Listen to me carefully. If you're watching this, it's because deep down you know you're wasting your life. You feel it, don't you? That burning frustration inside your chest. That voice in your head screaming that you're meant for more, but you're not doing a damn thing about it. Every second you're sitting there, scrolling, waiting, another man is out there building the life you were supposed to have. This is your last chance. Wake up now or spend the rest of your life watching stronger men take everything that could have been yours. Listen up, this world doesn't care about you. No one's coming to save you. No one's handing you a golden ticket to success. You are either a champion or a loser, and the only difference between the two is the choices they make every single day. You sit there scrolling, waiting for something to change, waiting for motivation to magically hit you. Wake up. Motivation is a lie. It's a fleeting, useless emotion that weak men chase like a drug. You think champions feel motivated every single day? No. They wake up, they grind, they suffer, and they win anyway. Every successful man you admire went through hell. You think they just got lucky? No. They got up when they were tired, they worked when they didn't feel like it, and they never let their emotions control them. Discipline beats motivation every single time. You want to be your own hero? Then stop acting like a victim. You're not broke because of the economy, you're broke because you're lazy. You're not out of shape because of genetics, you're out of shape because you stuff your face with garbage and skip the gym. You're not stuck in a miserable life because of bad luck. You refuse to take control. A hero doesn't sit around waiting for a miracle, a hero creates his own path. He looks at his situation, no matter how bad, and says, this is on me, and I will fix it. Now let me tell you the cold truth most people are too soft to handle. There are two versions of you. One is the loser sitting on the couch, making excuses, playing video games, avoiding responsibility. The other is a machine, a warrior, a man who gets up every day and dominates life. Your worst enemy is not society, it's not the government, it's not your parents. Your worst enemy is the weak version of you, and every single day, he's beating you. While you're hesitating, he's working. While you're making excuses, he's pushing through. While you're afraid of failing, he's out there winning. Ask yourself, if you met the strongest, most disciplined, most successful version of yourself today, would he respect you? Or would he look at you in disgust? The truth is brutal, and most people can't handle it. They want to be coddled. They want to be told, it's okay. Life is hard. You're doing your best. That's why they fail. That's why they never achieve anything great. Comfort is the enemy of success, and most of you are addicted to it. You say you want success, you say you want to be rich, then act like it. Winners do what they must, not what they feel like. They don't skip workouts because they're tired. They don't slack off because they're not in the mood. They don't wait for opportunities, they create them. The biggest lie you've been told is that success is reserved for the lucky or the talented. That's an excuse made by the weak. The reality? Success is taken by force. It's earned through sacrifice, through discipline, through obsession. Let me tell you a story about a man who had nothing, no money, no connections, no hope. A man who was broken, lost, defeated. He woke up every morning to the same miserable reality. A tiny apartment, bills he couldn't pay, a body he was ashamed of. His friends were all losers, wasting their time getting drunk, playing video games, living for the weekend. And for years he told himself the same pathetic lie that keeps most men weak. One day, things will get better. One day he'd start hitting the gym. One day he'd launch that business. One day he'd become the man he always dreamed of being, but one day never came. Instead, he stayed stuck, watching others rise while he stayed exactly where he was, watching other men win the game of life while he stayed on the sidelines doing nothing. Then, one night, something changed. He was sitting in his dark, depressing apartment, scrolling through social media, watching men his age driving supercars, traveling the world, living like kings. At first, he did what most losers do. He got bitter. He told himself they must have been born lucky, that they must have had rich parents, that life was unfair. But then, in that moment, a voice inside him snapped. What if it's not luck? What if they just worked harder than me? What if the only difference between me and them is that they refuse to be weak? That single thought burned in his mind. It haunted him because deep down he knew the truth. He was wasting his life. And that night he made a decision. A real decision. Not some empty promise, not some New Year's resolution he'd forget in a week. He looked in the mirror into his own eyes and swore, I will never be this weak, pathetic version of myself again. And from that moment on, everything changed. He killed the old version of himself. The man who made excuses, dead. The man who hit snooze in the morning, gone. The man who avoided hard work, feared failure, settled for less, buried. He became his own hero. He woke up before the sun. Now, he trained harder than anyone he knew. He cut out every toxic person in his life. He burned his past to the ground and built himself from the ashes. And months later, years later, the world didn't recognize him. His friends, his family, his old coworkers, they were shocked at what he had become. He wasn't just successful. He wasn't just rich. He wasn't just powerful. He was unstoppable. And the truth is, this isn't just a story. This is your story. Because right now, at this very moment, you are standing at a crossroads. You can keep lying to yourself, keep making excuses, keep watching life pass you by, or you can make the decision that changes everything. Let me make one thing absolutely clear. Time is running out. Every second that passes, you are either building your empire or digging your own grave. And right now, as you sit there reading this, another man, your competition, is out there taking action while you hesitate. Another man is waking up earlier, pushing himself harder, making the choices you refuse to make. And one day you will meet him, maybe in business, maybe in the gym, maybe in a dark alley when it really matters. And when that moment comes, he will crush you. Not because he's luckier, not because he's more talented, but because he made the decision to be unstoppable. And you'll be sitting there full of regret. Regret is the most painful thing a man can feel. It will eat you alive. It will haunt you when you close your eyes at night. It will whisper in your ear at your lowest moments. You had the chance. You could have been great, but you were too weak. And what's even worse, you'll know it's true. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care that you were too tired, that you didn't feel like it, that life got in the way. The world only respects results. Think about this. Right now, at this very moment, you are the youngest you will ever be. Your body is only getting older. Your energy is only fading. Every day you waste is a day you will never get back. One day you will wake up and realize it's too late. You'll look in the mirror and see a weak, broken version of yourself staring back. A man who had every opportunity to rise but chose to stay down. And that moment, that's hell on earth. You have to feel this fear. You have to let it burn into your soul, because fear is not your enemy, it is your weapon. Every time you feel lazy, every time you want to skip the hard work, every time you think about quitting, remember this moment. Imagine your future self, sitting in regret, wishing you could go back and do it all differently. You still have time, but not much. There is an urgency to greatness that most people ignore. They tell themselves, I'll start tomorrow. Tomorrow is a lie. It's a trick your mind plays on you to keep you weak. Real men understand one thing. Opportunities do not wait. You either grab them or someone else will. And this is where dominance comes in. Weak men let life happen to them. They sit on the sidelines hoping for things to change. They watch stronger men take what they want, build power, live without limits. But real men dominate. They take control. They make the world bend to their will. And that's what you must do. From this moment forward, you must walk into every room like you own it. You must make every decision with absolute certainty. You must move through life with an iron mind, an unstoppable presence, an unshakable belief in your own power. Because the moment you hesitate, the moment you second guess yourself, the moment you allow fear to control you instead of fuel you, you lose. So let me ask you, are you going to be the man who dominates or the man who watches? Because this world doesn't reward the weak. It doesn't reward the hesitant. It rewards the ruthless. It rewards the relentless. Let's talk about fear. Not the kind that keeps children awake at night, the real kind. The kind that eats men alive from the inside. The kind that whispers in your ear when you're alone, when you're failing, when you're falling behind. That fear, it's real, and it should terrify you. Because every second that passes, another man is out there getting stronger. Another man is outworking you, outthinking you, outmaneuvering you. Right now, someone is stealing the life that could have been yours. And do you know why? Because he's willing to do what you won't. Think about it. When you skip the gym, when you let distractions pull you away from your goals, when you take the easy way out, someone else is doing the opposite. Someone else is putting in the work you refuse to do. And when the moment comes, when it's time to prove yourself, you will lose. You will lose because you let fear control you. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of stepping into the unknown. But here's the truth no one wants to tell you. Fear never goes away. It will always be there. The difference between weak men and strong men is simple. Weak men run from fear. Strong men use fear as fuel. I want you to picture something. Imagine you're on your deathbed. Imagine lying there, looking back at your life, realizing you wasted your best years. You had the energy, the time, the ability, but you squandered it. That's regret. And let me tell you something. Regret is far worse than failure, because failure means you tried. Regret means you did nothing, and nothing is unacceptable. That's why urgency is everything. You don't have time to wait. Every moment wasted is a moment stolen from your future. Every excuse you make is a brick in the prison you are building for yourself. How many more days are you going to waste? How many times are you going to tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow? Tomorrow is a coward's word. There is only now. Now is when you change. Now is when you rise. Now is when you become the man you were always meant to be. And that brings us to the final piece, dominance. Do you know why most men fail? Because they live their lives reacting instead of controlling. They let the world dictate their fate instead of bending it to their will. You were not born to be weak. You were not born to be average. You were born to conquer. So stop apologizing. Stop hesitating. Stop waiting. The world belongs to the men who take it. So tell me, right now, are you going to take what's yours, or are you going to let someone else steal it from you? Because in the end, there are only two types of men: the ones who dominate and the ones who are forgotten. Enough. Enough waiting, enough hesitating, enough being weak. You either rise or you get left behind. That's the brutal truth. And I don't care if it hurts your feelings, because life doesn't care. You think life is going to slow down for you? Give you time to catch up? Hold your hand and say, it's okay, take your time? No. Life is a battlefield, and every day you waste, you're getting eaten alive. What the hell are you waiting for? Every second that ticks away is another second you will never get back. Another second of opportunity slipping through your fingers. And here you are, still waiting, still watching, still making excuses like the rest of the weak, pathetic sheep who will die with nothing. You need to wake up. Right now, another man, your competition, is working. Right now, he's grinding, sweating, bleeding for the life that could have been yours. He's pushing through the pain you ran from. He's building the empire you were too lazy to claim. And one day, you will meet him. And when that moment comes, he will destroy you. Not because he's better than you, not because he's smarter or more talented, but because he refused to be weak. And you were too busy scrolling, sleeping in, avoiding the hard work. And now, you pay the price. You need to develop a level of aggression towards your own weakness. A violent, ruthless hatred for the part of you that wants to take the easy way out. That voice in your head that whispers, it's okay to skip today. Kill it. That urge to stay in your comfort zone, crush it. Because weakness is a disease. And if you don't rip it out of your soul, it will spread. You think the greats became great by accident? You think they woke up every day feeling good, feeling motivated, feeling inspired? No, they woke up and they went to war against their doubts, against their fears, against their own weakness, and they won. Because they refused to bow, they refused to break, they refused to be anything less than unstoppable. That's the level you need to reach. A level where nothing can shake you. Where failure doesn't stop you, where pain doesn't slow you down, where you look at the world and say, I will take everything I want and nothing will stand in my way. No mercy, no limits, no excuses. So tell me, are you ready to be that man? Or are you going to let another day slip by while someone else takes what's yours? I'm done talking. I've given you the truth. I've given you the blueprint. I've ripped apart every excuse you've ever told yourself. And now, there's only one thing left. Action. But here's the problem. Most of you won't do a damn thing. You'll nod your head, you'll feel inspired for a few minutes, maybe even a few hours, and then you'll go right back to being weak. Right back to scrolling, right back to sleeping in, right back to running from the work. And that's why you're losing. So here's my challenge to you. Prove me wrong. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, now. Stand up, look in the mirror, and tell yourself, I am done being weak. And then, act like it. I don't care what you have to do. Get on the floor and do 100 push-ups. Get outside and run 5 miles. Throw every piece of junk food in your house in the trash. Delete the distractions that are stealing your time. Cut out the people who keep you weak. Make the decision right now to become the man you were meant to be. Because this is the moment. This is the fork in the road where you either step up and change your life forever, or you stay exactly where you are, watching another day slip through your fingers. And if you choose the second path, then stop lying to yourself. Stop pretending you want success. Stop saying you want to be great. because greatness requires sacrifice. And if you're not willing to pay the price, then you don't deserve the reward. So tell me, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna prove me wrong and start moving right now? Or are you gonna close this, go back to your weak habits and let another day, another year pass you by? Because 1 year from now, you're either gonna look back on this moment with pride or with regret. No more talking, no more thinking, no more waiting. I've laid it all out for you, the truth, the wake-up call, the challenge. And now, it all comes down to one decision. You either take control of your life or you stay exactly where you are. There is no in-between, no middle ground, no half measures. The man you want to be, the life you want to live, it's right there. It's waiting for you. You have to fight for it. You have to be willing to suffer for it, because if you don't, if you hesitate, if you let fear and weakness win, then mark my words, you will regret it. A year from now, 5 years from now, you'll look back and realize you had the chance to change everything and you let it slip away. And that pain, that's forever. So ask yourself one last time, are you going to be the hero of your own story? Or are you going to be just another forgotten name, another man who had potential but was too weak to use it? Because in the end, the choice isn't mine, it's yours. And it always has been.